The Houston Rockets filled their Summer League roster with some familiar faces, ranging from many of the core players of their rebuild to part of the family. And as expected, the Rockets summer team will begin competition Thursday in Las Vegas, and that will include this year's draft picks forward Jabari Smith Jr., forward Tari Eason, and guard TyTy Washington. All three draft picks signed their contracts on Friday, and they're all ready to go. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you how the Houston Rockets constructed this roster for the NBA Summer League to win the Summer League championship. A pair of last season's first-round picks, Josh Christopher and Usman Garuba, will also play along with guard Daishen, who was a standout for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers in the G League Championship. Do you guys remember guard Trevor Hudgins? He agreed to a two-way contract with the Rockets after the draft last month. He'll also be on the Summer League team, along with one of last season's two-way contract players, forward Anthony Lamb. There is no shortage of recognizable names on this roster. The team also will include guard Aaron Gordon, the brother of Eric Gordon, the most tenured Rockets player. Rockets assistant coach Rick Higgins will be the Summer League coach. And they added former Rice guard Pierre. He will also be on the team as well. The individual knowledge of the team's plans are laid with Higgins. He is tasked with the construction of coaching these kids up and getting them ready for the NBA regular season. I'm going to put the roster on the screen right now. You can't tell me that this roster can't win this championship. And I know, it's not the finals, but it would be a great start to the season and give these guys momentum coming into the NBA regular season. Let's talk Josh Christopher for a second. The dude averaged 7.9 points on 44.8% shooting, at a high clip at 30% from 3-point, and 2.5 boards along with 2 dimes, and scored in double figures 9 times, averaging 11 points in the final 18 games of the season. Now, what we learned about Christopher is he began the season outside the Rockets rotation, but he seized an opportunity for increased playing time when injuries temporarily sidelined Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. Everyone remembers on his 20th birthday on December 8th, the dude dropped 18 points in a win over the Nets. Christopher then went on to become a consistent rotation member and a primary wing player off the bench. Although Christopher's shooting was inconsistent throughout the season, he definitely demonstrated an impressive knack for getting to the rim and finishing at the cup. Christopher is great in the catch and shoot, and he's more effective playing off the ball. But the Rockets, they're still going to experiment with him running point for the second unit. He could be a combo guard that is a dynamic playmaker, and he has the size to score in bunches via penetration or catch and shoot threes. At 6'5", Christopher, he's 215 pounds, and he's big enough to apply tremendous ball pressure and guard multiple positions. His ability to negotiate switches was tremendous. And this has kind of been the Houston Rockets theme for the last couple years. They have prioritized development so much that former All-Star guard John Wall, they decided to pay him $44 million not to play last season, which cleared the way for Kevin Porter Jr. to start next to Jalen Green. But that's part of the price the Rockets, with Fertitta's approval, have been willing to pay for instantly transitioning from finals contention to a full teardown almost 2 years ago. It's not a shift that the franchise wanted to make after competing for a championship during James Harden's 8-year tenure in Houston. And it wasn't for lack of trying. The Rockets desperately tried to extend the era, but once Harden decided it was over, the franchise determined that a long, painful rebuild was the most realistic route for an eventual return to relevancy. Jalen Green was one of those first-round picks last season, and he was a rookie who got off to a rough start. It was kind of hard to watch. He finished with a spectacular run though, scoring at least 30 points in 6 of his last 7 games, including a 41 point in his season finale. Porter, the talented young reclamation project in his first full season as point guard, averaged an efficient 28.7 points and almost 7.5 dimes during that stretch as well. And while rebuilds in recent NBA history haven't yielded varying results, 3 things are certainly true, or at least they should be. Assets are at a premium, flexible aggression helps, and opportunities to escape don't come around that often. There might not be a better example, league-wide, of a team encompassing all 3 attributes than the Houston Rockets. Since the beginning of this rebuild, the Rockets have maintained their stance that a big reason for having a bevy of assets and considerable flexibility is in the case of an opportunity presenting himself. This makes sense, given there's no way to capitalize on any such opportunity if you don't have the means to do so. Fast forward, the Kevin Durant situation. However it ends up trade-wise, It's going to be complex. Rudy Gobert was traded to Minnesota, and it took an unreal 5 first-round picks to get it done. But because of the caliber of player Durant is, and the way he can single-handedly shift title odds, smart money says any trade involving him might need a 3rd or even 4th team. Should that be the case, the Rockets, they need to be open to being involved as a facilitator, if that means receiving assets back. Now you have to remember, the most important aspect of any negotiations between Brooklyn and any interested teams from this point on is what the Nets want to do internally. That is, how do they see themselves? If Brooklyn still wants to compete for a playoff spot and remain in the mix, there really isn't much the Rockets can do to assist in that. They might be able to try and snag more assets from a team like Phoenix, which is Durant's reported target landing spot, but their goal would be sending whatever is necessary to Brooklyn in order to land Durant. And trading Durant and also Irving would signal intentions not to try to contend, or at least to this party of one. At the same time, the Suns have their own drama to deal with. DeAndre Ayton, he looks like his days are numbered there. Even if the Suns do offer him a contract, he would likely sit out. And Ayton is certainly the type of player who would be suitable for a young talent perspective to send back to Brooklyn. But as long as Irving is on the roster, it's not feasible. The collective bargaining agreement forbids it. And because he's a restricted free agent, Ayton would have to be signed and traded. And according to the CBA, the team that trades for Ayton, in this case Brooklyn, would be limited to a maximum salary of $152 million. Now you have to remember, Irving opted into his $37 million salary for next season. And if Ayton likely would get a max deal like he wants, adding up the rest of the players under contract in Brooklyn puts them way over the salary cap. If the Rockets are aggressive and flexible, as they say they are, they should be right in the thick of things in this Durant-DeAndre Ayton trade. But we'll have to see what unfolds. So that leads me into today's question. Which one of these players from the Houston Rockets Summer League team do you want to see most? Someone that is intriguing to kind of pick up after last season. In my opinion, I want to see Josh Christopher. The dude balled out, and he could be even better this year, becoming a staple in the rotation. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And tomorrow, we'll be back better than ever with some more Houston Rockets basketball. But until then, Rockets fans, like always, I'll save y'all a seat. Peace.